Welcome and hello. This is a video tutorial on HEC Vortex, and in this lesson I'm going to discuss the tools Normalizer, Sanitizer, and Time Shifter. All right, what I have on the screen here is just some DSS dataset records, grid dataset records, and now what I have on the screen is a number of the HEC Vortex tools. These are just .exe files we launch by just launching the executable directly, not installing it. All right, so Normalizer, Sanitizer, and Time Shifter are the last three I have to cover. The other ones I've covered in previous videos, so check those out. All right, Normalizer. Let's go ahead and click this one to launch. What may happen in your Windows machine or whatever operating system you have is it may actually give you a warning if about running an executable directly. If that's the case, just go ahead and click the more info link and then run anyway button after that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select my source file for Normalizer. I will tell you what Normalizer does. It just takes a little bit of an explanation. All right, so I'm going to select my record set here. I'm going to select all these records. This is hourly precipitation grid data sets for about 16 days worth of data. I'm just going to go ahead and click next. Then it's asking me to select my normal file. And I'm going to select the normal file. I'll tell you what it is. It's going to be just a single record here, right here for a single 24-hour period. And then next. Oops, hold on. There we go. Got to click this arrow button to move it over to this side first. And December 26th for all 24 hours of the day. Correct. Next. All right. So before I finish this up, I'm going to explain what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the data itself. Here is all the data we selected for that first option. It's the 16 days or so of hourly precipitation data. What I'm going to select is just the 26th of December, which starts here and goes 24 records all the way to here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at that data. What I'm looking at here is a grid where each color represents a number, sort of in a gradient, where white is the highest and then green is the lowest. And then if I hover over a cell, I see 1.5 millimeters is the amount it rained on that cell for that hour. Next cell over, 1.87, 2.14. You get the idea. If I advance to the next hour down here, just clicking the arrow button right, I see values for the second hour of December 26, 2005. 0.08, 0.08. The third one is 0.31. So what I've done just to understand it myself is I've created an Excel file here where this is the first cell, the second cell, the third cell. And when I say first, second, third, I am just counting over like I'm reading a book. First, second, third. You could obviously make a case to say the lower left-hand corner is the first cell. But anyway, I'm going 1, 2, and 3. And then those values was 1.5, 1.87, and 2.14. I got the actual values for those three cells for all 24 hours and summed them up to 7.39, 8.68, and 10.45. Okay. What I have in the next two columns should be the result of this entire normalization process. Rows G, Q, and O is calculated from Excel, and then H, L, and P is what I actually got from the normalizer tool itself. So the numbers did match up. I am normalizing to 1. So what I'm doing is I'm just dividing the hourly precipitation in millimeters by the entire day, 7.39. And that came out to 0.20298 here, which rounded to 0.203, and then 0.01 to 0.011. Yeah. What I used for the normal gridded data set was this record here. It's December 26th all day long. What that looks like is just a constant grid of value 1 everywhere. So I'm normalizing it to 1. All right, not too much to look at there. Let's finish up this normalization routine here. So the start date is going to be 12/26, 2005 at 0 hours, and then it will end at 12/27, 2005 at 0 hours, which the same as December 26th at 2400 hours. The interval is going to be 1 day. That's correct. And yeah, we go ahead and click next. It's asking for a destination. So this is a DSS file. I'll just put it on my desktop. I'll call this normalized December 26 precipitation in millimeters. I can add more. I'll just add that same thing for part F. Click next. And all right, so the DSS file popped up. And let's go ahead and take a look at that and confirm that it matches our numbers that we calculated. So I'm going to open up DSS, open up that file. Okay. And it's only the 24 hours that I specified. So let's go ahead and just select all the hours. And then here is our first record. We have 0.203. And that matches up there. The next one should be 0.2154. Yeah, 0.205 and so on. Okay, well, I'm not going to check every single cell in this video, but by all means, go ahead and run that example yourself and test it out yourself. All right, moving on to the next tool is the Sanitizer tool. So I'll click the Sanitizer tool and then select the source data set. I'm going to just select a single hour here. Sanitizer works as a filter. It will change any value over a threshold to a certain value and any value below a threshold to a certain value. So let's take a look. Let's start with this record here. Yeah, from 9 to 10 on December 25, and then next. And then it's asking if I want to filter above and below. We want to filter both. Let's go ahead and take a look at that data real quick. Here's the record. So if I open it up, here we have our data. If I hover over some of the cells, I see the values 4.9, 5.0, 5.4, 5.6. Green is the smallest number, so there's 0, 0.06, 0.27. What maybe what I could do is say anything over 4, change the value to 4, and then anything below 1 or 1.5, change the value to 1.5. So we should have a sort of a plateau at the bottom, lower elevation or lowest precipitation and highest precipitation, and then preserve this interior gradient as is. All right, so back to Sanitizer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just make it 1 instead. So 1, 1, and then 4 and 4. This is millimeters. Next, and then select the destination. I'm going to call this sanitized, and then 1-4. Okay, and then open. I'll say that's my part F. Next. So it's generating that DSS file. There it is. Let's take a look at that. Open, sanitized, should have one single record. Okay, great. There it is. And now if I open that up, we have the original on the left and then the sanitized on the right. So we can hover over the sanitized version and we have 4 everywhere, even if some 4s here, and then 1 where it was 1 or less in the original version. All right, so that's how Sanitize works. It's just sort of a filtering operation. And the last one I want to talk about is timeshifter.exe. So this does what it is named. It shifts the time for any data set. I'm going to select the same one I always do from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on December 25th. I will move it over to the right side, click next, and now I get to decide what the time shifts should be. So my unit options are days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Let's shift it days and let's go back 10 days. All right, click next and then select the DSS file to create. I'll put it on the desktop again. I'll call this time shifter back 10 days. Okay. And then for my part F, I'll just say the same thing. Next, it's generating the file. There's the DSS file. So let's open that up. And then time shifter, we should be seeing December 15th from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And there it is, December 15th, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., the same year, and it will be all the same data. So that was it for this video on HEC Vortex. We talked about these last 3 tools here: Normalizer, Sanitizer, and Time Shifter.